Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Smart Poker YouTube channel and another episode of Humpdazed. This is number 110. As always, my wife, Crispy Wannabes, here is with me today, and we're enjoying a beautiful, beautiful rainy day.
Yeah, I'm so glad the rain is here. Hey, everybody. It's got me in that rainy day mood. Like, I just want to stay in the house and smoke weed all day.
That's it.
But yeah, we've been needing this rain, so it's definitely a celebration, and I hope everybody is staying cool out there and smoked up.
Yes. I seen a, I'm sorry, I just got a phone call. That's why I was, I seen a video that I wanted to talk about and it was about this dry weather a lot of us have been having. I know some of us, I heard some people like Canada say they've been getting tons of rain lately. We had I say he's been getting tons of rain. We've been in a 3-week drought. I swear it hasn't rained in about a month. Nothing noteworthy anyhow. There's Art, man. Look, kids.
Cheers, Art Man. Cheers, Seed Person.
What up?
Cheers.
Good to see everyone. I feel like I haven't seen y'all in a couple episodes.
Busy life, man. What's happening? What's new?
Oh, man. So, if y'all want to know,
Yes.
I went to my physical therapist last Tuesday and had some dry needling done. I'd never had it done before. Y'all know what that is?
Yes. I don't.
They'd use like a acupuncture needle and they target the muscle knot and then they poke it a bunch of times subcutaneously, and it makes it release. So I had that done on my neck, and I guess, I don't know, he didn't get it or the other muscles seized up because I've been having a laryngeal spasm for like a week now almost, and it feels like I got a lump in my throat.
Damn.
Man, that's
rough.
Remember that movie? That kid had he had a chicken bone stuck in his throat. What movie was that? He died. He got stung by all the bees and died. Remember that?
Man, you're making me feel good over here.
Come on, Smut.
It was a book.
I mean, go get some
lighter.
It was a book I read, man. And this little boy was the focus, and they owned a funeral home. And the little kid got stung by bees and died. I think it was a Stephen King novel or some big novel. That's gonna drive.
Oh, you're talking about My Girl with Macaulay Culkin.
Oh yeah, you're talking about a movie or was it a book?
I read the book first.
The book's always better.
Yeah, I read the book first, man. But anyhow, that sucks about your throat, dude. That's got to be a horrible feeling walking around all the time.
Oh my God, it's awful, dude. I'm like so distracted all day.
Yeah.
Did they give you any indication of like a reprieve time soon or what they can do to alleviate that?
Well, I went back this Tuesday to talk to the guy again, and he wasn't there. There was a substitute therapist, so I'm going to go tomorrow, and he should be there tomorrow, so I can ask him about it.
Yeah, man. I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm going to smoke this blunt, and it'll help.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
What's up with everyone else?
I want to say cheers to XYZ and OKJ. Sorry about that. We just let you in, and I'm sorry.
Daydreaming.
Oh yeah, just hi. Just heard what C person was saying, man. That sucks, dude. I'm sorry to hear that.
No doubt.
Thank you. I will be all right. I have come this far with whatever the fuck is wrong with me. Nobody can tell me. That's the craziest part. I've been to 2 orthopedic surgeons, 2 chiropractors, and a general physician, and they can't give me a straight answer. I had multiple CTs and MRIs and X-rays and shit.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's my world, dude.
Yeah. I
That
guess that's why a lot
sucks,
of us
dude.
are coming to cannabis for medicine, because
Scary.
traditional medicine has failed us.
Absolutely. Sure has me.
And this plant is illegal some places. Crazy.
I think the shittiest thing that happened to me the last day or two was I went online to order tires for my wagon, man. So I went in, put the make, year, model of the vehicle, ordered the tires. They sent me the tires, and it said for for trailer use only. So all the numbers and everything's the same, but they sent me trailer tires. And I'm like, look, I typed it in on your website, blah, blah, blah. And you guys directed me as these as with tires that would fit my vehicle. I said, I didn't just randomly pick them, And they was like, oh, you can return them, but it's going to be $30 a tire for 4 tires and a restocking fee. I was like, how do I have to suffer because of your website's
stupidity?
Yeah, your website's tool is the one that fucked me over here. It wasn't me. I was like, why should I incur? And then they was like, well, we'll split it with you. So I'm thinking, no, I shouldn't have to lose anything, dude. I come to your website, put in the right information, and you sold me the wrong shit. And they tried to chalk it up as what did they say? Buyer's remorse or something. Like, what the fuck? So I had a hard time there, but I finally got some return labels, and I guess hopefully they're gonna accrue all the cost and I can get the right ones. But yeah, man,
we still need tires.
It's always something, isn't it?
But my
But that ain't
dad,
as
my
bad as
dad
your neck
always,
being fucked
yeah,
up. Nowhere near as bad as your neck
that's
being fucked up.
yeah.
It's just an annoyance.
Yeah, our problems are just annoying, like Smart said.
Yeah, but they're not even accounting for your time. I mean, now you're wasting your time. You have to deal with these tires that don't work. And like you said, they suggested them. I mean, it's like going to an expert and saying, hey, I need this. And he points you to the thing, and then, it's the wrong thing.
You can return it if you only get half the money back, though.
Can you film yourself going on their website and putting all that info in and having it show you that result, and then send them that video and be like, this is what I did?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's crazy because I sat here and we did it together, and it was like the third website that we were on because we were just shopping around, and they all wanted the same information too, and they all threw up a list of tires, and
they all had about the same style tires, same prices. It was pretty much the same.
And I think someone made a mistake in the shipping department, which happens. I mean, logistics or whatever. The mistake was made along the way, and it wasn't on our end for sure. And I thought, just like you said, XYZ, the time, and we were supposed to have these tires on by now, and now we are waiting.
Yeah, I got inspections coming soon. Now is a certified mechanic and can do my inspections for me in his garage, but I won't take something to him that won't pass inspection just because he's my dad,
Well, it's a waste of time. Again,
I wouldn't ask somebody to do that, like it's usually him that knows what's going on with my cars. But yeah, it's always something. But that C person shit really sucks. What's your annoyance for the week, XYZ Vector? We'll go around the horn.
Okay, this one's good. So basically, on this job I'm at, the engineers, I didn't engineer this job. So the engineers that engineered it basically tied too much load to these IO modules. So they're faulting out and they're basically shutting down. So everybody's pointing at me. It's like, it's your program. I'm like, no, it's not my program. So I spent the whole day chasing this problem down just to tell them, hey guys, look, you guys screwed up on your design. So, and I just sent all my electricians away. So I don't have anybody to rewire it but myself. Huh.
Oh, man.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, well, it sucks.
Charge them double, dude.
Yeah, my boss is already fed up with the project manager. This is project manager's first conveyor job, and he's like delusional about schedules. And like my boss told him, you're delusional. That's never going to happen. For that to happen, everything has to be perfect. And it just keeps turning out that they messed up. Their engineers just didn't do their homework.
All you can do is put them on the right track, man.
Yeah, but I'm out here. I'm only paid to be out here to program the damn thing, and now I'm engineering it.
That sucks.
But it is what it is. I'm gonna be out here for at least a month now. It looks.
Oh, bummer.
Where's this at?
It's in Memphis, outside of Memphis.
I heard that was one of the number one murder city. The
Oh,
number
my.
one place.
Hmm.
It's one of the one,
Really?
yeah, the number one place to be murdered is Memphis, Tennessee. It's not Compton or the Bronx or whatever, some of these old places that we used to think of like bad neighborhoods. It's Memphis,
Wilkinsburg.
Tennessee. Yeah,
I
Wilkinsburg.
don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, so I stay away from downtown Memphis. I'm out in the outskirts, but just the way that people drive around here, their cars are all smashed up. It's like, damn, and you can see why. It's like you guys drive like idiots around here. It's crazy.
We got to ask Art Man and Jace what their gripe for the week is, and then we'll move on. Get it. Everybody likes to vent, right?
Yeah. Don't forget about me.
Oh,
Well, the tire
Well,
for you, but yeah.
Yeah, Crispy,
for it,
what do you got
Jace.
about SMOT? No, I'm just kidding.
lay it on.
You know what? I did something really stupid today. I was carrying boxes and wasn't watching where I was like walking, and I was walking through a doorway, and I smashed my knee into like this big wooden plank, and oh my god, it buckled me.
That's
I wanted
my
to-
fault.
Oh,
I had the house all tore up doing a bunch of work, man. I was like, I had the front door off and all kind of shit today, man. And I had everything jammed up in the hallway. Here she comes.
Yeah, but I
Boom.
knew that. I knew that this is tricky. I got to move accordingly, and I don't know if it was like just the wake and bake had me daydreaming about. I'm excited. My house is getting put back together, and I just had my head somewhere else and jam my knee. But you know what? I'm doing much better. I was like, oh man. So that I'm just, my gripe is with myself. I got to keep my head on a swivel and watch what I'm doing. Just like you, XYZ, while you're in Memphis, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be
yeah.
danger.
I'm glad that it's feeling better. What about you, Jace? Art Man?
man, I guess I could complain about anything. I don't know. It's been a pretty good week. Probably the only issue I've had, I still got those gnats going on. They're not, it's not an infestation, but they're noticeable. So I put a couple sticky traps in my grow, and I think those are helping a little bit. But I was thinking about, you guys ever use those mosquito dunks?
Yeah, it does work.
I'm using
I
them
So
right
you
now.
So you just throw them in your res?
I put them in a rosin bag and tied a loop of monofilament and threw it in there so I could pick it out anytime I want.
That's a good idea. Yeah,
I
might try
usually-
some of those in-
You don't want to leave them in there too long because they'll get gooey. So I don't know
Yeah,
what happens to them, but I change them out every so often.
Yeah, I just mix up a gallon of water and then I just apply it foliar onto the media.
The mosquito dips are Bacillus thuringiensis or whatever it is, man. If I remember correctly.
Bacillus thuringiensis.
That's
is
it.
BT. Yeah, that's mosquito dunks.
Thuringiensis.
Oh my goodness.
Now there's even more effective, like Bacillus. I forget. Doctors always tell me about when I'm complaining about my fungus gnats, and I'm like, yeah, but a bottle of that's like $100. I can go get mosquito dunks at the corner store for $10.
Well, I only use
Yeah,
that.
that sounds better.
3 weeks into flower too. I don't use it past that. OC Grower told me that. I don't know where he got that, but
Oh, really? I wonder why. Is it not safe for late flower? Or?
I don't know. I wouldn't use anything like that in any kind of flower. Really, I don't know what it does.
I don't
just
think
don't
it's
like it.
dangerous, but I don't think they're dangerous. It's just that, like Artman saying, you don't want to really. I mean, it's basically a bacteria, so I think but
Yeah.
It's
It's
supposed
the
to
most-
only affect those few white flies, mosquitoes, and gnats. That's what I've heard, but biologically,
It's the most widely used biocontrol substance in agriculture, if I remember correctly.
really?
It's across the globe and has been for a long time, man.
So, Chase, you will not grow a third horn or a first horn if you use it in
Third
flower.
horn,
But yeah,
Those
well, you
other
never
two,
know.
Those are fine.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I was hoping my buds would get a third nipple on it.
Oh well, I can't promise you anything.
That shit'll put bumps on your pickle, dude.
Oh,
Hey, crinkle cut style. I hope.
So is that your
Oh,
gripe there, Jace? Was that yours?
Yeah,
Well,
that's pretty much just the only problem I got going on now.
Well, hey, I got lots of sleep last night. I had fun pressing a bunch of rosin today. Made me a bunch of moon rocks. So sorry, guys.
no gripes from the
that's
artist.
awesome.
No gripes.
Art man, I envy you. And I envy you too, Jace. I'll trade your problem for my problem any day of the week.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't blame you there. Sounds like a pain in the ass.
I believe you'll get those gnats, those fungus gnats under control, Base.
Yeah, I hope so. Like I said, they're not a major problem, but one is one too many, in my opinion. And I've got more than one, so
I've
I've got
always
too
had
many.
them. I've always had them though. I've always had them. They're just an annoyance. They've never I've never seen a larvae. They must be really, really tiny. But I've never seen one. I've never had any kind of damage to my plants to the point where I could see it. But I don't like them flying in my face.
No, I
Yeah,
hate that.
But as far as your harvest or anything like that, I don't see them as like mites or aphids or anything like that. They're an annoyance.
I can't remember who I seen that was growing in bucket growers.
Me.
No, it
Oh,
was
unless
like
they're real thick, and then they stick to your buds. That's right. That'd be
Yeah,
gross.
I was growing, and you're like, you
Ooh.
got fungus gnats. You pointed it out, Smart. I'm like, yeah, I know it sucks.
One or
Yeah.
two isn't going to be a problem, though. I don't think.
No, I had an infestation. I had to do something, so I went with I first doctor said buy bacillus the other stuff, and I went to the hydroponic store. I had to get some newts anyways, and I was looking at it. It's like a bottle. It's like $90. I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing that. No, they're not that much of a pain.
Sand. Use the sand, the play sand on top. Put an inch layer. It'll stop them. You just got to break the cycle of laying eggs and then the eggs hatching. You can also let the top layer dry out, or put diatomaceous earth because it'll fuck them up.
Yeah,
Or
this is the
Dr.
first time I've
Zyme's
ever.
root trench with Dr. Zyme's works too.
This is the first time I've ever had an issue with it. It's probably I would relate it to the high frequency fertigation.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah,
exactly it.
You don't
out.
use sand in cocoa, though, right? That's real bad.
Oh no, yeah, I wouldn't do that with cocoa.
Right.
No.
That's just for soil. Okay.
Yeah, get some of them. Get some of those mosquito bits or whatever they are. They're like little like they look like cranked up or crushed up walnuts, and you just soak it in put it in a little. I use nylon stockings.
Oh,
I
there you
just
go.
soak it in
That's a
the
good one.
gallon of water for about whatever it says on the package, and then double it, and then I pull it out, and then I just go and I foliar all everything on the ground, in the media. I don't foliar my plants with it, but I'll foliar the
You
root
mean
zone.
you spray it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and you're gonna have to do it a couple times, Jace. You're gonna have to do it about once or twice a week to really get it under control. But once you knock out one part of the cycle, like Seed Person was saying, either the larval stage, which is what the mosquito dunks attack, or the adult stage. I tried to do both. I put a trap or a little UV light and sticky trap in there. And that caught a lot. It's like, damn, these cards are already filled up. I better do something more.
I need a little assassin robot that just stays in my tent and kills them for me.
Oh, don't we all? With a list of targets.
Yeah. I'm working on that, guys, but I gotta get through this project first.
You'll be a billionaire.
Yeah, don't mind that it costs $30,000 for the unit, though.
I'm just picturing like a little turret mounted to the top of the tent, just swiveling around and shooting down.
Yeah, what would we use for ammunition? I mean, you don't want something
Lasers,
that's
bro.
Lasers.
no
Yeah,
lasers.
laser.
Cut your
It'll-
plants up, man.
Actually,
it's like
they have
pre-trimming.
they have a
Oh.
they have a machine they drag through crops now, and this is for real. And it scans the ground down below, and it fires a laser, and it scorches any weeds or bugs it sees. I kid you not. I watched it
Yeah,
on
I've seen that.
YouTube. Oh, it's so cool.
It is really cool.
Yeah, blast them.
They
So,
also have
yes.
them where they have an AI database in there of every single plant individually, and it scans each plant with like infrared or something like that, so that it can tell how healthy it is, and then it'll shoot a little pellet of however much nutrients it thinks it needs into each one, like into the soil right next to it. It's really cool.
That is.
Man, what am I going to do with my doser? You guys are killing me over here.
You just need to make it into like a little pellet that shoots at the plants, and then everybody will buy it because that's cool.
Yeah, it's probably a lot cheaper too.
Weaponize it.
Yeah, well, weaponize pellets.
Somebody opens your tank that's doesn't have the secret code. And it starts banging them with fucking nutrient pellets at like Mach 5. Yeah, that'd be funny.
You're having too much fun with that, Big A.
Well, yeah,
I'm
you
I'm
involve.
kind of worried.
You have lasers. You have automation. Yeah, it's a wet dream for me.
What are y'all smoking on?
I'm eating brownies right now. Which is infused with cherry, trop cherry.
Sweet.
Yeah, I made them a little bit too strong, but that's okay.
Just eat less.
Yes.
Plus, you're gonna be stuck there, right? So you're gonna run out, or you be
Well,
able to go home and make more, or what?
yeah, I'm gonna cut them off on the 27th. I'm like, guys, sorry.
I'm out of
Your
brownies.
screw ups are not my fault, and I have to go home. Sorry, I've been here for a month and I'm out. See you in the weekend.
And I'm out of weed.
I can't tell them that.
Well, that's in the back of your mind then. Just don't say the
Yeah.
loud part quiet, quiet part loud.
That's correct. I mean, I could always try and run down to down south in Jacksonville. I think I can pick some up.
Hey, XYZ.
Yeah.
I have a saying in my business that I like to tell people. Lack of preparation on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine unless you're willing to pay a nominal fee.
No, they're already paying a nominal fee.
There you
All
go.
the parts I've had to buy for them are getting jacked up by 3 times.
Daddy needs a new set of snow tires. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I don't need no snow tires. I need to get home on the 27th. I'm gonna be about sick of this place by then.
Yeah, we'll hope you're home. You'll be home by then.
Damn, Ty Six busted their freezer busted. That's a real son of a bitch. That happened to us, man. We lost bags of trim. We lost probably like $500 in meat from the butcher.
Damn.
And yeah, we were loaded up.
I lost my wedding bouquet. I had my wedding bouquet in there.
And that was the most important part in there, hon.
That was the
Absolutely.
most important thing to me because everything
Yes.
else. Well, there was Amy Ace's trim in there too. That was a hurt.
Replaceable. All
I learned a
replaceable.
valuable lesson on that thing is that I bought an off-brand freezer from Walmart or what's the other Sam's Club.
Same
We
thing.
went to Sam's Club with our mom. You got to be a secret cult member to get in there. So we
Yeah.
went with them, and I got in and got a TV. I got me that freezer and that, but it was an off-brand, like a Hyacinth or some crazy shit, and the thing blew up. I paid like $150 for a 7 cubic foot freezer. That should have been my first inkling that it was too good to be. And then I stocked all kinds of keepsakes, good buds, and a bunch of good meat, and it broke. And I'm thinking I lost way more than what was inside. you know, for 150. It just next
For
time
sure.
I'm going with like a Whirlpool, you know, or some name brand that I know of.
Yeah,
How'd the TV do?
The TV's still doing great.
Yeah.
Okay, well there's that, I
It's
guess.
the only thing. Like there was other things that from that damn crummy store that was like
Oh yeah, I bought a.
something else like
I know what it
happened,
was.
and I'm like, I'm never shopping there again anyway. So
It was a real badass lazy boy computer chair, and it was like padded and heated. It had all this shit, and it was cool, man. It was like a high end looking thing, but it broke immediately. And I tried.
keyword was.
Yeah,
was
I tried to get it all. I tried to get it replaced. They were like, "You got to box it up, take it back." I said, "I can't even take it back apart now and put it in the box. The bolt, and everything's broke off inside there and shit." And it was crazy, man, what happened. But we had a lot of bad luck with that place, Sam's Club. And that's what you get when you go there. I guess you get shit, you know, Chinese
Sound-
crap.
Yeah, sounds like a gas station sushi or gas station vape pen.
Yeah.
that's like this, gas station vape pens. Damn
Gas
it!
station egg salad sandwich. There you go.
Oh
No, you're taking
Exactly.
life in your own hands with that.
You know it.
The only thing I buy at Sam's Club that's worth anything is basically they have good deals on prime brisket and
Yeah.
the ribs. The ribs. That's I like and sometimes I'll get one of their tomahawk T-bone steaks.
Yeah, they got a nice butcher in the place. I mean, they make it nice. They sell like hot dogs and big slices of awesome pizza and pretzels and stuff in the front.
Nabby Hayes knows.
That and their donuts are really good.
Frigidaire.
Oh,
Should have got that. That's a good name.
Yeah.
don't forget their chicken. They have whole chickens there on sale that are usually really good and really cheap. I mean, you cannot get a whole chicken cooked for the price they're selling them for.
Yeah, we'll use them for the food products, but they're not going to get us again.
I know a lady that used to run a small kitchen at a bar. That's where she would go once a week to Sam's Club, buy 100 pounds of chicken wings, all kind of shit, man. And she'd flip that and turn it into big cash. I bet she made $1,000 a week, and they wasn't even open every day, you know?
Yep. That's usually who you're gonna find in a Sam's Club, like buying the big bulk chicken and stuff like that. I mean, who needs 6 pounds of coffee? I mean, besides Smart and Crispy.
Bro, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Put it in the secret stash in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you the best part about going there is if you go when they're doing those free samples that they hand out of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have a whole meal for free almost.
Yeah. And then you look over and they got one of those floor mops that drives itself, and you're like, "What the hell? Who's driving this thing?"
Don't get in its way, man. You don't know if it's the Hisense model or the freaking Frigidaire. And if it's the Hisense, it might run you over.
You'll lose your toes, man.
Then you have to call tow truck.
Oh, my.
That's a bad joke there, Crispy.
Yes, it is. How do we get off that topic? Let's go look at some plants. You guys want to see Artman's plants up close? He's the only one with plants on the screen today.
They're dancing so beautifully too. They keep dancing and they're having a happy day too.
I've had an unproductive day. I need some it wasn't very productive. You know how you wake up and got a big list of shit, you get like a very small bit of it done. You're like, son of a bitch, but look at that.
He got the wall mudded in and it looks beautiful. So don't let him be telling you some fibs. He
Nice.
did work. So
Look at
Hey, Spot,
yeah.
you didn't go backwards today. I just wiped out 3 weeks of work today.
Oh.
So it's, don't feel bad.
You're right.
That's a big ass fan leaf on that plant. It's about half the size of that plant.
Yeah, that's that one over there, the bambalam. These are the flows.
Are those cuttings?
Yeah, all of them are. Yeah,
Okay.
they're all clones. But this one's significantly shorter than this one
It is.
because this one was sitting right here, which is not as deep and didn't get as much water as that one. So this rock or this cube was a little dry.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's why it's short. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just it's behind. So anyway.
How dry I am.
Dry back stress, huh?
Yeah. So I'm going to spray one of those with the silver thiosulfate.
Oh, okay.
Are you trying to feminize them?
I am.
Oh,
I
there
am
you
going to
go.
feminize them.
You're gonna make some seeds.
I am. Flow OG seeds. I've had
Cool.
it forever. I'm going to hand some out.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm super stoked. I'm excited about your plans.
That'll be cool.
Yes, very cool.
Are you gonna try to do a controlled
Whoops, you can't read it.
Oh,
2-part.
okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is that colloidal silver?
Yeah, it's something like it's similar to that. I think. I don't think it's actually colloidal, but yeah, it is silver. Yeah, it's silver thiosulfate. So
I'm
like
not
you
sure
put it
what-
in here and then you spray it on the plants. I got to look for instructions actually. I think I'll ask Jack Greenstock how he does it.
That's
So-
Yeah.
Oh, he's the man. Are you
Yeah.
kidding?
so are
doesn't
you
mind
gonna
answering either? So
are
What's
you
that?
going to I gotta go, guys.
okay, buddy. Sorry about that.
Cheers, bud.
We'll see you.
Have fun.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
real
Oh, I'm
fun.
not leaving. I'll be
Oh,
back.
he's taking the
Okay.
call. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've done the STS twice.
Oh, how did you do that? Tell me.
Sprayed once a day, single branch.
And how many days?
I started the first time I did it on autos, so I wasn't able to say exactly, but I did it for I want to say 14 days, 14 days on the autos and 12 days on the photos. So I flipped. No, I started spraying them and then I flipped, like a couple days into spraying them, and then when they started bolting and showing sex, they were showing female and male, and then mostly male, and then pollen drop, and then I chopped the branch off.
You only did one branch, and you got lots of pollen, didn't you?
Oh yeah. You just need to do one branch. You don't need the whole plant.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. That'll be cool.
Oh, and spray it on the stem, not on the leaves. I mean, you can spray it on the leaves too, but aim for the stem. That's where it's going to go in and change things.
I think I might just take those 2 plants and put them in my tent and let them do their thing. I mean, spray the one branch on it. Actually, I could just spray one branch on the same plant, couldn't I?
Yeah, that's what I did. Just sprayed
Okay.
one plant, but you can't smoke the plant afterwards. It's systemic. It gets into the plant. It doesn't matter if it's the branch you sprayed or not. The whole thing is not safe.
Okay, cool.
As far as I understand it.
Well, it sounds about right, though.
Hey man, that's something I never heard before until just now. When I heard people say I'm going to spray one branch or whatever, I always thought that they meant the leaves on one branch, not spraying the actual branch fibers with the spray. That's to me is a little bit shocking. I don't know why I find that amazing. I would feel like that it would absorb into the plant better than the leaf, and I'm not questioning you. I just find that amazing, like a pretty cool revelation, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't know where I heard that actually, but that's what I've been doing, and it seems to work pretty well because I haven't had any issues. Definitely got it on the leaves as well, like not trying to be super like specific about it, but
Jay,
aiming for the, what does that say?
No, to say J5 jumped in there with a good one too. Like I think Eric, you were saying the same thing on not to overdo it.
Right.
You know,
Once you start seeing like male flower anything, you're probably good to stop spraying it.
now the shit you had was a one shot and done, right?
No, that was Scrubs had that, and that was the like X1X something. I don't remember what but it worked for him. But I used the Doctor's Own feminized seed spray on Amazon, and it was STS.
Was that a 2-part?
No, it was a one bottle. And actually, I got the bottle like 4 years ago and let it sit in a hot garage for a year before I actually used it for
And
the
it still
first
worked.
time. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Well,
But
J5 says he uses the thing. He used the same kind I have from Mendocino, so that's cool. Thank you, sir. That's who did I ask about that? I think I asked Jack Greenstock about it. He gave me that link. I did. That's exactly who I asked. So anyway,
that'll be a fun project, man. Especially if you have a tent to work with, you know. A secluded area, if you will, depending on how it goes.
yeah. Well, that tent's way the other side of the basement, pain in the ass to get to. So it's pretty secluded.
Yeah, which makes it nice because you always feel, I don't know, I would feel somewhat vulnerable, you know, having the two, depending on timing and shit, I guess. So having a big separation in them across the basement like that and in its own tent would make me feel much better.
I agree. Everybody who's tried it, you know, if it doesn't work, that's okay, whatever. You know, because everybody who's tried doing that has failed. You know, I mean, I don't want to make light of it. I chuckle, but that's only because, you know, it doesn't matter how hard you try. It seems like.
Yeah, it is.
no, I
But
had one plant that I pollinated, and the one right next to it didn't get a single seed that I could see. No, not a single hair turned brown.
Oh,
But the one that was on the other side of the tent got completely filled with seeds.
ha! Hey,
Huh.
my phone does this thing where it'll, when someone calls and leaves a message, it'll show it to you in text, and it never gets it right. It sounds like that people are speaking gibberish. If you read this, it makes no friggin' sense at all. You know, I don't know. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to change the subject. I get sidetracked. I just was reading something on my phone. It said that they're calling me to get some pestering done instead of plastering.
You start calling them in the middle of the night and be like, hey, 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 hey.
This is how it showed up on my visual voicemail. It's
$20 right now. I'm pestering you.
yeah. Hello, I'm Sandy. I want to get some pestering done. Oh my. But anyhow, yeah, that's the spray. When you spray those things, man, I never trusted people like they try to bag them, you know. And then when you guys did that, it worked. You didn't really get any seeds, but it always makes my heart drop a little bit because it's a wind-borne pollinator. You know, it's built to catch the air and get far away, nooks and crannies, all the good shit. You know, nature has a way, so it's scary. Yeah.
I got a male in my tent right now, actually. I'm going to show you guys in about 45 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, nightmare cookies. He's going to make the other half of the goth girl.
Let's see. What's anything new in your tent, Jace? Any new revelations this week?
No, not really. Just cruising along. Changed up the nutrients to the mid bloom, and I bought a 2x4 tent. I'm gonna have it as a drying tent in here. So I'm gonna set it up. Also bought another extractor fan and a controller, some ducting, and I'm gonna set it up that way when I get ready to harvest, I can, if the plant's ready and others aren't, I can chop it down, throw it in that 2x4, and keep rocking and rolling with the other ones. Keep growing those out, and then I bought a new probe tip for my Apera.
Damn. Amazon Day.
I actually bought that straight from Apera.
Hey, I seen this thing where they said Amazon Day. Some guy had a list and his cart was like $429, and then Amazon Day came and it went to like $501 or something. And he started looking around. Yeah, and he found that they kind of make you think you're getting a sale, but not all of them's on sale. So that's a good one to watch out for. I think it's still going on today too, till tonight.
Yeah, that's like my AC Infinity stuff I bought, like the extractor fan. I bought it's a refillable carbon filter, so you can take the charcoal out of it. You can add some more into it, because that shit's only good for so long. That way you don't have to keep buying a new filter every time. You can just add more charcoal into it. So yeah, I got that, and then I bought the Pro version, the Pro Plus version of their controller. It has like 8 ports on it. I've got the old original one. It only runs on Bluetooth. It doesn't even run on Wi-Fi. But I was going to need a second controller for that dry tent once I get it going. Money, money.
Money. I've noticed since we haven't been growing a huge difference in my electric bill. It's about I figure now even at the worst times it probably costs me about $100 to $120 a month to run my grow. And that's full blast running 2 tents, all the fans, extraction. That's running a couple canitrals. It's running an AC and a dehumidifier.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of extra added costs like that that's, kind of intangible, or like that probe tip replacement I had to buy because those are only good for, I don't know. I mean, I've been lucky on mine. I've had it for over 2 years and it still works, good, but I think it's kind of on the fritz. So I think it's about time to change it out. So that's more cost right there. It adds up.
I would say it cost us about $1,500 a year to grow for electricity, nutrients, cocoa, the water, everything, man. It's probably a little over $100 a month. In some months it's probably half that. Other months it's probably the full that. So that's like an average or the worst case scenario, I guess. That's not bad.
No, that sounds about right. I mean,
I could easily recoup that many times over if I was a seller, if I wanted to sell,
Yeah, or if you were buying it from a dispensary yourself, I mean, you're going to pay probably 10 times as much as compared to the weight that you pull out of that for $1,500.
Exactly. And you know what we always say, the therapeutic value of growing all year long and producing that alone is, for me, that's a big thing. That I get just as much out of that as I do smoking it, I think.
How's your project going?
Yeah. What's that?
How is your project going? How long you got till you're back to?
Well, it's probably going to be a little while yet. I signed contracts, but at this time of year, it's hard to get anyone to start right away. So everything was postponed at least a couple weeks, But the things that I can do myself are moving along fairly decent. I mean, I've run into a few snags, a few unforeseens. That's how it is when you start opening up shit on old houses, man. You realize I can't just in good conscience not do something about this now that I know. And, you think something's minor and it ends up becoming a lot bigger. You think you're taking a wall out, then you end up taking a wall and half a ceiling out. So you might as well redo the whole room at that point. You know how that goes, Art. But it's good.
But it'll be a brand new room, like when we're done. I'm stoked about that part. Plus, I can't wait until we're painting.
I don't have no help right now, man. The people that help me at work are kind of dicking me over right now. They're not answering their phones. Maybe I think they're working for someone else who might be paying them more money and shit. So it's kind of hard being a business owner, It's kind of hard, man.
Pretty brutal out there right now.
Yeah. Yep. And
so you guys are moving your grow upstairs?
Well, no, we moved. It's always
been upstairs. It's in like a third bedroom.
Oh, so you're keeping it in the same room. You're just remodeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to do roof work over there, and I found a bad piece of wood and shit up in there, so that I had to get people up inside there to look at both sides of the roof, and I couldn't have walking through a grow room, and so I had to tear it all down. But since we moved in here, we wanted to do a lot of stuff, Jace. Like that room was carpeted, so I threw carpet shield down, but I always wanted to tear the carpet up and do it different. I wanted to replaster everything, but that's one of the rooms that I didn't do because we wanted to get our grow up and get going. we had already shut it down for a month or two so we could pack up and move. And then we moved in here and we needed like a month or two to
and it was winter. It was the time to grow. Like we wanted, like we were dogging to get that going after the stress of moving. So
we hurry up and set the room up, man, and got going without doing like all the stuff we wanted to do. And we just made it work for the last couple of years. And now it's like, since we had to do this anyhow, we may as well take the hit now, shut everything down, and, you know, replaster the room, reroute, or, you know, come up with some ideas on how to condition the air and or bring outside air in, shit like that.
Elevate our tent, put it up on a, you know, elevate it so we can have a drain.
Shit like that.
That's what I was going to ask. Are you guys able to, like, to tap into the plumbing somehow and get like a floor drain and a sink and all that up there?
I can't do all that. What I can do is there's a bathroom that butts up to that, and I can open that wall up and tap into that water if I want to. And I've thought about it, and the more that I get into, the more I push that back as something I might do later, one of those deals, because, yeah, things just happen. But that is something, that's an ambition of mine, is to have a slop sink, is what I call them. You know, you probably guys see them in people's basements and shit. They got paint on them. They're usually white PVC little sink with, you know, on 4 legs. Just get one of those cheap slop sinks and put it in there and tap right into it. And I think I could do it pretty safely as far as like having leaks and shit. I don't know how easy it's going to be to tap into the drain. I may have to tear up a bunch of wall and shit. You know what I mean, Jace? And it's like, I'd like to do it, but I've already got into more shit than I thought I was going to, et cetera, et cetera. So how do I want to say it? I had a big list of dreams, and what I did is I put priority first, like being able to handle the humid air, being able to draw in fresh air, shit like that, and
stealthily,
and to be able to have a more waterproof flooring system, which I'm going to work on, and a couple other things. So it's not going to be quote unquote an ideal grow space that I would build if I had like a concrete floor garage, but it's going to be the most ideal, I don't want to say this, the most ideal space I can create in that bedroom for growing, that can also be easily converted with some few things here and there to be right back in mode for selling the house, because this house is really only supposed to be like a 5-year project.
Yeah, that's another thing too. You don't want to alter it so much that, like you said, when you go back to sell it and someone's looking to buy it, and they'll be like, "What the fuck is this guy doing up here?"
It's an old home. It's hard to. It's drafty, you know, and it's 2 floors. My wife and I, it's just the 2 of us. It's got 2 living rooms, a kitchen. It's a big old house, you know, and so it's much more than we need to heat, much more than we need to cool. It's much more space that we need to keep clean, all that shit. We'd like to just have a nice little 1-level ranch with a 1-car garage on it, something easy, you know, something that the roof isn't 30 feet in the air, you know, and so that way shit like that. But our point is to go from renting to buying this home to eventually either renting this home out to someone to make it an income property or just sell it outright. But I don't think 5 years is going to be the project. It might be more like a 7-year project now, but you got to have hopes and goals, right?
Yeah, you'd be surprised how fast that equity builds up. I've only been in this house for like maybe, I think, around 3 years, and I've already got $40,000 or $50,000 equity in this house already.
Yeah, it's the same here, man. We've been the same about 3.5 years, and isn't it I got a 2.5% interest rate during in 2020 when I bought this house, and they December of 2020, and so now the rate's like 7 or 9 or 7.9 or something. So every freaking day I get the email, Jay, saying you can refinance. We'll cut you a check of this amount. Blah 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 blah, and I'm thinking that's one thing I'll never ever do is refinance ever, you know.
No, not for a higher interest rate.
No, that shit's set in stone. But you know, I all shit that I learned, Jace. I always rented stuff. I never had anything in life, you know. I didn't even know I'd be available to buy a home. It all happened so quick, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And it ended up being cheaper than my rent to actually have a house, but You know, it does come with
But
a
it
lot
comes
of shit.
along with, you can't call up the landlord when your hot water tank breaks.
Or when you need a roof, or
You
when,
know.
you know.
Yeah, your central heat and air goes out, and it's 15 grand or something to replace it.
Yep. But, you know, if it was legal here in Pennsylvania, we would be growing in one of those big old living rooms because there's a lot of space. The ceilings are a lot higher. I just think it would be so much nicer because they already got the hardwood floors under them. And
You'd be like XYZ and convert your living room into a grow space.
yes,
I
that's what I want to
definitely
do.
would. I have no problems. I'd have all my
That's
cannon
what I want.
trolls sitting down there on the counter, real proud, man. And I would definitely do that. I would more want a space that I could control humidity in that I don't live in. You know, the humidity that we run into and handle in grow areas can be not great for you know, where you live. What the hell's that noise? Is that
Who the
us?
hell's beeping?
What the? Who's got their?
Someone's heating something up in the microwave.
That's their beeper going off.
Maybe.
Someone wants a sack of bud. 911.
Yeah, boy, you're from the 90s, aren't you, buddy? Beeper, pager, yeah.
91130. That tells you it's weed and I want a 30 sack, right?
I never ordered on a pager. That's really weird. I know it's a long time ago, but
And we was joking about this the other day about, and I'm sure a lot of us here have done it, is you would page the dope dude, letting him know you wanted his shit. That's what we called him. And then all of a sudden you'd get a call back. Yeah, come through. Then you just drive up and you had no strain names. You had nothing, man. If you were lucky, you could throw it on a postal scale real quick just to make sure you're getting close. But a lot of times, man, it was like that, you know. And then we all had those dealers that were considered quote unquote friends. And we would even hang out with them and shit. But I didn't like the whole text drive through kind of deal. You never knew what you was getting. You couldn't really look at it and stuff, you know.
yeah.
Well, I knew one guy, and I got whatever he had.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
how-
got what exactly. You got what was there at the market. You did not have choices, and you were always looking over your shoulder. To me, it always had that element of, what can happen if the cops show up? What if I get busted with this? I've always been that nervous person about getting.
Well, one of the big caveats,
and I've made it my whole life not getting busted.
Yeah, you definitely couldn't turn them into the Better Business Bureau if you got some bunk shit.
yeah. Well, that's the other thing. You usually go to these guys for a bag of bud, and they also had coke and pills for sale too, you know. And so, like, you pull up to buy your buds, and they do a swoop down. All of a sudden, you're in a coke ring or whatever. I mean, it's just like, I came here for a bag of weed, man. I'm trying to smoke some bud, you know. Like, kind of get it out of that and into a market.
The market where patients can, have access to it.
Yep.
Yeah, our guy, he had acid, man. We'd be taking acid like candy. I'd be popping 10 strips at a time.
Oh, wow.
10 strips.
So that's
Holy
what
shit.
happened.
You couldn't have done that with the acid I had. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, we were taking that shit like candy. I got to the point where I could just, go out in public and function normally on that stuff. We'd go to the pool hall and hang out, just tripping acid all the time.
You're a wild one, Jace.
Couldn't really get shrooms that much. They weren't really available here, but man, all the acid you want, maybe some Molly.
Never had Molly.
Wow.
The good
I
old
don't even know what it
days.
is.
Ecstasy.
Make you feel good or make you feel. Well, of
Oh,
course,
yeah.
it makes you feel
Oh,
good.
it's good stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, you'd be rolling.
fun
I've been
time.
busy for a couple of days, you know. Shit. The pink stuff, man. I remember getting Molly that was pink and it blew my mind. It was pink chunk powder, you know. Put it in some paper. Wow.
But the safe stuff, the cannabis, yeah, it's
It's a shame.
It's a great thing that we live in a world that hopefully, I'll never have to go into those seedy places. I feel like when you're putting yourself in danger, never know what you're going to get and end up in a place where they're slinging something else. And
it's shame.
That's never a good feeling when you're like taken off guard at the happenings of what you see inside those rooms where you're going to buy your.
Yeah, and it's
I just want a bag of cannabis. Okay, so me and my girlfriends can go down by the river and smoke some,
And it's a shame that cannabis got stigmatized to the point that it got pushed into the back alleys and with the same drugs as heroin and cocaine and all the nasty shit that's out there killing people, that fentanyl. And
the sad thing is it's safer now than it was then, because you didn't know. Let's say you got it imported, which usually most people did. How do you know what pesticides they sprayed on it? That's a money crop. That isn't, it going to another country. What do they care?
Oh, indeed. I agree 100%.
Herbicides too, of course.
And, this is a big odd thing for me. I don't know, maybe it was just geographical. But when we were teenagers in the 90s, you could always get what we called swag weed, which was either, I guess, crappy homegrown or Mexican brickweed. It wouldn't be that great. It would be like $20 for an eighth. It'd be mids all day long, and we would buy it, smoke the shit out of it. But there was always, especially later in the later 90s, like 96, 97, later on, people started getting, we called it hydro or just dro, and we equated really good green, sticky, big ass buds that were bright green, covered in frost, tasted like skunk, good fucking skunk bud, man. We always attributed that to hydro. We called it dro. And so when I was coming up in those days as a teenager, a young man, that we figured that, that's how I always equated it. And nowadays people it's exactly opposite. And I don't know what's going on in the streets right now with the young people that are buying and selling weed and shit. But, with our group, everybody's more leaning towards the organic shit now. I see peppers that were once sold as one name are now being sold as another name with the word organic involved in it. And I believe that's just to appease the gluten-free community, It's pretty cool.
I imagine, a lot of like teenagers are going to ask their older friends that got the marijuana card to go into the dispensary and hook them up.
And now it's different. Everybody
I'm
wants
sure
to
that
organic.
there's kids out there doing that.
But you know what we would get? Unfortunately, the same guy that I would get my dro off of I would be able to buy an OxyContin 80 milligram and get it dropped in the same bag. You go pick it all up at one time. And, you could get Dilaudid dropped in that bag if you wanted, or anything. And it was like, we all have free will, but just the fact that the cannabis had to be coupled with that kind of a drug, it just seemed weird. And I like the fact I want, like my wife said, to be able to walk into a safe, well-lit environment and buy it. It's not pesticides. And I'm not sure the government's in place that's going to do that. But I think a more of a free market would really open that up.
A mom and pop cannabis shop, like more of those would be fun. Homegrown people like us that are growing medicine and access to that kind of thing.
You said you were talking about the old school dealer. That's the only, I don't know. That's the only reason it's a gateway drug, was because there was the other illicit harder drugs was with it.
And that's because of how it got stigmatized.
That's
from
right.
50s.
Well, back in the 70s, though, cocaine and acid and all of them were lumped together. Even High Times would have piles of cocaine in their centerfold. But they got rid of that. After the crack epidemic, they no longer put any kind of cocaine or anything like that in there. So they just stick with mushrooms and I believe mushrooms and pot. I haven't seen that issue in a while. Yeah, they got away from that. But they had all kinds of cocaine in there back in the 70s.
It's refreshing to me nowadays to see from those days, which weren't that long ago. I'm not an old dude. To see now that people of any stature, like any congressman or whatever, saying this is a good medicine, it has potential as medicine, or that we should just come on board and legalize it or whatever. That's a big leap. And it's nice to see.
Yeah.
Another thing I find is great is the separation of mushrooms from the hard hitting, bad for you shit. And it seems like there's a big movement, and a lot of it's part of our community. And a lot of you probably right here have a small hand in this, but it's to bring awareness to cannabis and mushrooms being separated from the bad stuff,
drugs,
the
war on
synthetic,
drugs, the
garbage, the you know,
Crack
all that.
meth,
Yeah,
OxyContin.
cocaine, man. You don't get cocaine out of a plant. You know, you got to run it through diesel fuel and all kind of nasty process and shit. That's why good coke smells like fuel. You know.
You know what I was gonna say when I saw him talking about the coca leaves earlier in chat. Also, shout out to chat because I can see you, but I can't reply because the stupid app won't let me. But you know, you're talking about concentrating down coca leaves into cocaine. What do you think that, because he referenced the people that have been chewing the leaves for hundreds or thousands of years, and like that's just part of their way of life. They never concentrated it down, like, and they don't use it as cocaine, right? So what do you think that they would consider, like us, like blasting BHO or something over our plants and making it into something that it's, you know, not the original? Is that comparable to y'all in your mind? Like, I'm just curious. I'm not judging anybody. I don't think it's, you know.
It's distilling it down, sure. I mean, you can do that with alcohol too. You can go as hard as you want, you know.
Right.
So
I think it's
what's the
but it's
line,
not as dangerous. It's not dangerous like coke.
Yeah.
Cocaine
will kill you. I guess that's the
it can shut down your freaking
alcohol will kill you, cocaine will kill you, heroin will kill you.
Dabs will not kill you. Very cool. I was just thinking about that when I saw it in chat, and I wanted to say something since it got brought up. But
yeah, sure.
I'm not throwing shade or anything.
Oh no, it's a good topic.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
It is, and I don't think, and this might be irrelevant, but I don't think their countries ever had a massive epidemic of dabs, making people, you know. And you know,
they're trying to get their dab fix, and they're like
the war on dabs and shit. So I'm not trying to make light of your argument. I'm just saying, like,
no, it's not an argument. I was just
did you guys know there was a cocaine epidemic in the 1920s?
I didn't. I
big
knew there
time.
was.
Oh yeah, big time. It was all legal back then. Dad, that's where he got the term hophead. Dad would always call somebody who got high a hophead. but yeah, look it up, man. It's really crazy because everybody was doing it. It was so popular. Hell, Thomas
That's
Edison
why they got all that energy to do Charleston.
there you go.
Back then, when it was legal like that, and they like put it in Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
they were putting cocaine in Coca-Cola, and they were selling it as medicine too. It was in your medication.
You lose weight, that's for sure.
You know, so
often they sold it.
They were wild back then, huh?
Yeah, they would label them.
Well, you hear Thomas Edison only had 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, but on a Life magazine, I saw a letter he wrote to a Coca wine company. He was cheering how good their shit was. It was so you know, it was so popular back then, but yeah, it went out of control. Of course, you know that's what happens with Coke. It eats them up.
I remember reading post-Civil War that our country was in a massive epidemic of people being hooked on morphine. It was just they didn't have a lot of medicine after that. A lot of people were walking around with wounds from the war, and they had amputees walking around and shit. So they didn't really know all about that. They just kept giving it to them and giving it to them and giving it to them. And I guess I saw an amazing number of like a certain percentage of all adult male in the country at that time, and how many were hooked on morphine. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. You know, we don't hear about that.
Well, they're not going to teach that in school, Smart.
No, they should, and they should teach kids how to do taxes and how to, you know, we shouldn't live in a country where you have to be a lawyer to know you understand your government tax code. So they break shit down like that in schools. We don't want to get started on that. What I think.
Yeah, no, let's not do that.
Hey,
Tax man and me are not friends.
They could start a drug thing, maybe drug abuse resistance education or something.
Oh no, don't dare us to go down that. No, pass hard.
When I saw that come along, I was already an adult. That was just blew me away because they were just lying. They were lying so much, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little kid back then, teenager. It's like we were getting high watching the fucking Dare commercials, and we just laugh at it.
This is your brain.
I had that shit happen in 3rd grade when I was in 3rd. I remember it vividly. We all got T-shirts and thought it was like a cool shirt, and everybody that I met that I didn't know was a drug dealer. And I had to say no to them. Say no.
Just say
That's about all
no.
I learned
Just
from
say
it.
no. Thanks, Nancy Reagan.
He's on drugs. She's on drugs. Yeah, that's funny. Hey, I remember they brought this big the state police came to our school and they brought this big plexiglass like shadow box that had all kinds of drugs in it. And I remember
that, yeah.
I remember thinking like that weed looks like boof, let me punch this open, grab that perk, and go have a good day here. But no, that's what they did. They brought them all and shit. They really did try to teach us, but they had the cannabis right in there in that box.
Yeah.
All the bullshit. There was a needle in there and all kind of shit, man. And I think back on that's so crazy.
Well, before Dare, they had Officer Friendly, and there was I don't know. I guess he's probably on parole or working with them or something. But he told us that he knew a guy who took drugs and he grew tits. So, I mean that's testosterone or whatever.
Estrogen.
Yeah, estrogen. But he didn't make any delineation between coke, pot, heroin, or estrogen. So he just fear mongering us. You're gonna grow tits. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, really? They did that? That's nuts, man.
They set up a big trailer out by my school and run us all through there, and it was like, yeah. So they had this guy in there lying his ass off.
Isn't that something?
I was probably 11 or 12, so before Nancy Reagan. So it was there. It just wasn't as crazy. That's all. They had a great marketing program for that shit.
The after-school specials.
The war on drugs.
Yeah. Or that dog that talked to the girl. Like, I don't like you being high. Whatever that dog said. It's like, damn, I need more fucking acid for that one.
Yeah,
I want that shit, man.
What's she on?
I want the dog talks to you weed.
Yeah, that was that movie Road Trip where he's on that Viagra and he starts smoking weed and the dog starts talking to him. Tell that bitch to get in there and make me some blueberry pancakes.
That's what it was, yeah.
And he's got that erection. He's walking around with that erection and he's knocking the lamp over.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, McGruff. That's the one I was thinking of.
Oh, the crime dog.
Crime dog. Yeah.
Now, was he anti-drug too? I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think he was anti-everything, like anti-fun, anti-eating, everything.
Oh, yeah.
What, did we lose Seed Person? Oh, we did.
Version of
There
Robert
he is.
Stack on Unsolved Mysteries. He's creepy, long ass trench coat, standing on a street corner. Hey kids, with a real rough voice,
Yeah.
Don't crime, it'll kill you, and you're like, wow, you really sit up as a kid and take note. Like this dude's not messing around. So yeah, it's
Yeah, I'll tell you,
We had Mr. Yuck.
It was impactful, the commercial when I was a kid of the person that did the drugs and then jumped into an empty swimming pool. Because I remember thinking as a kid, what in the hell would ever make anybody dive into an empty swimming pool like that? Like, that freaked me out. Don't do drugs. I'll never
Alcohol would do
I'll
that.
never do
Yeah.
drugs.
Alcohol.
Hey, oops.
Oh, man.
Splat instead of a splash.
Yeah, but he's probably on PCP or some crazy shit like that.
I had a crazy experience where I got a bag one time, a 1 gram bag, right? And it was like 2/3 gone, and there was just a little bit of shake in the bottom. Somebody gave it to me. I was like, thanks. And then we went and smoked it at lunch. I was in high school. It was laced with PCP, and everything that was white was actually like, it looked like it was a light shade of blue to me. And I was so spaced out, I read the same sentence on the laptop for the entire time, and I have no idea what the sentence was.
Oh man!
And then I like crashed on the bus on the way home.
That's a dirty thing to do
Yeah.
to somebody, man.
Yeah.
That's some strong shit too. My friend lost his arm with the angel dust. Oh, it was still there. He just couldn't feel it, and he was afraid to look down.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was it. I
That's
mean, he
funny,
still had
though.
his arm, but it fucked him so bad that he was
Yeah,
surprised.
That's a mind
I never
fuck.
did that.
Me either.
No. Do you guys remember the old commercials or the old posters and shit they would have? I think it was a commercial. We might even talked about this here. Somebody I've talked about this with. It was like a they would have a duck with a cigarette in its mouth and a horse and everything else, and it said underneath, "It looks just as dumb when you do it." And it was like
tobacco.
cigarettes.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like for the cigarettes and shit. And then they had like Mr. Yuck. So we grew up with a lot of those sort of Mr. Yuck had a whole song and
Yeah,
everything.
I remember the song.
Can you break it down? Come on. I was hoping maybe you would grace us with the Mr. Yuck version.
Mr. Yuck is mean, Mr. Yuck is green. When you see him, stop and think. Do not touch, do not smell, do not eat, do not drink, or you will be sick. There you go.
Yeah, that's a round of applause right there. Good job.
What was that?
I had it memorized.
Yeah, I ate a little bit of mushrooms earlier, but I'm not sure that I'm that high. What was
Oh
that?
my God. Just got treated. There's 37 lucky individuals here just got treated to the Mr. Yuck
People
song.
out there
from the
are like,
80s.
yeah, I remember that commercial too. Come on, it had that snappy little song.
Yeah, Mr. Yuck, man. And all the stickers underneath, and they come to our school and handed them out and told you to go home with your parents and put them on the stuff together so you knew not what to drink. When don't get under the sink and all kind of stuff, you know. Cool.
But what's crazy is the generation before, there was doctors on commercials like, "Oh, this is the cigarette that makes you, feel good," and all that crazy crap. You remember that?
Oh shit!
I
Fred
don't.
Flintstone and Barney Rubble was selling cigarettes.
I don't remember that. I remember.
Well, it's a little bit.
Cartoons on YouTube, man. It's crazy.
Joe.
Well, like back then, all the cool movies, people were smoking.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, these commercials were in black and white, so it's a little bit before my time. So
Right.
probably,
Reagan made commercials for cigarettes too.
yeah.
A lot of people did. Bunches. It was perfectly normal. There are ashtrays everywhere. You know. Every single table had an ashtray.
Well, and you know how they all freak out about lithium batteries on airplanes? People used to smoke on the fucking airplanes. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, everywhere, pretty much.
Yeah, everywhere. You're right.
Yeah, if you ever seen a lithium battery go off, man, on one of them commercials, XYZ, that's like those things are like it's like a flare. It looks like
it is.
Yeah.
So as a hobby, I fly model helicopters that use those lithium batteries, and when they start puffing, what we'll do for fun, we'll take them out in the desert and we'll just drive a nail into them and run away. It's so they're so energetic.
Yeah. So now, if that's going
sounds
off if that's going off on the floor of the plane I'm in, I'm going to be a lot more pissed off than if someone's smoking a cigarette and puts it out. I think it's just the oxygen. They supply a large oxygen up there. Isn't it oxygen rich or something, maybe?
In the airplane? Yeah. It's not oxygen rich, it's just pressurized. I think they add oxygen. I think they have to. Yeah, I think they do.
I think there's oxygen on the plane in case the masks drop out, right?
Well, there's that, but
Oh yeah.
also I think they add oxygen to because what happens in the jet airplane to pressurize the cabin, they use what's called bleed air, which is basically the air that's going into the compressor before it's burned, light on fire and stuff. And they'll take that air and they'll use it pressurization. But I don't know if they add oxygen to that air though. I'm not sure.
You know what I learned is that I remember seeing this inside they don't have a lot of those drop down canisters that you breathe, like the mask drops down. I don't know if it's in all planes, but a lot of them have, instead of having a tank of air up there on deck, there's two chemicals there that are ready to be mixed. And whenever that thing drops down, it mixes them and it creates oxygen that comes off of there for I want to say 15 minutes or a half hour. And then the two chemicals kind of burn out and it stops creating it. Anybody ever hear that shit?
Yeah, it's called an oxygen candle, and they have to have them on airplanes for safety issues and submarines and shit as well, and ships and things.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't know what the chemicals are, but I heard about it.
Yeah, the oxygen candle. They burn them in the submarines. I know that.
I'll be darned.
Smod's breaking out all the reasons he's never getting on an airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Smart. It's okay. There's trains.
I wonder if you could take one through security, and they'd probably be like, "What is this? You can't take this through," and be like, "But there's already one on the airplane."
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't
I'm really
think
high, by the way.
They're going to want to talk to you even more.
Yeah,
they're like,
oxygen candle.
How do you know
officer.
the inside workings of our airplane, buddy? You want to step back to this room for a minute?
we got a couple more questions, sir.
And you're there.
Oh,
for
and we
6
got Bubba
hours.
over there. He's putting on his glove right now for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good times at the TSA.
Yep. And then the FBI is going to do the same.
Yeah. Well, you haven't even been through the TSA, Smart. So I don't think.
Hey, I watched it on TV, dude. I seen how the dude he
Oh,
turned his hands backwards and was rubbing all up on dude's junk and doing this. He looked like a robot. He slid his hands across his waistline. Then he went down and he was all up in his junk. And the dude's just shaking his head. And I'm thinking, fuck that. And I'm not in prison. You're not patting me down that well.
You seen that picture of the guy getting patted down, and he has a T-shirt on of a guy getting patted down, and it says "Not gay if it's TSA."
Oh,
No.
Go look it up. It's great.
I always tell him, "Hey, man, are you gonna buy me dinner first, at least?"
I think it moved.
Oh, goodness.
I think it moved.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I would tell him.
I think it moved.
Pat me down. I would tell him I think it moved. What's that? It moved. If you've ever watched Seinfeld, you'll see George got a massage by a man, and he was all freaked out. And then he told Jerry, he goes, "I think it moved." And he said, "What's that mean?" And so he thought, obviously the implications are whatever. But it was a great episode, and it was funny as hell.
That's crazy.
But
I just remember that.
Neurotic. You sure did play good neurotic.
I just remember that episode where they buy those cheap wedding invitations, and she licks all those envelopes, and she gets sick from that glue and dies.
Yep. That was their way to write that lady out of the script because nobody in the cast got along with her, and she wasn't happy there either. So they wrote that into the script, man.
Oh, that's weird.
That's a shit.
They murdered her.
That's a shitty way to die, man. I licked too many envelopes and I died.
George is a known cheapskate on that show. He bought the very cheapest envelopes from North Korea, and his wife filled them all out. His soon-to-be wife filled them out and licked them, and she died. And then he come to find out
mucus glue.
Yeah, the Korean glue, man, gets it.
Well, I'll never buy fucking envelopes from North Korea, so I think I'm safe.
Well, let me tell you a story I heard about somebody that a spider laid eggs in the glue pot, and then it went onto the envelope. They licked it, got a paper cut on their tongue, The eggs went in there, it healed, and then they had spiders hatching out of their tongue. You're
Oh,
welcome.
Oh
oh man.
Oh boy.
That's
Yeah,
so
I'm not
freaking
buying
creepy.
that one.
What's wrong with that, man? Eggs, spiders need love.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, not that type.
Who doesn't
You know,
mind harboring spiders?
crazy true story is I got bit on the eyeball by a spider, and it still freaks me out that happened to me.
Eek.
While I was sleeping, I'm assuming I didn't feel it until it got infected.
That's
I
like
went to the eye doctor, and that's what she said happened.
It's like a bot fly or something. It puts something under your skin and it hatches out. That's fucking
Yeah. There was an episode of that show Bones where the bug dude was like, he had one in his arm or something. He's like, I'm waiting for my baby to hatch.
Oh,
Like,
You guys get chiggers up there in your neck of the woods?
Nasty little parasites.
Oh yeah, I hate those things.
Fuck.
Itchy.
The more you itch, the better. The more you're gonna have to itch. That's looking good, C-person. What you got going on there?
All right, we got some cannabis finally.
yeah, sorry.
no, it's good. We're finally getting
It's
to
great.
that.
It looks good.
Oh, look, what do we got here?
Oh, some seeds that look good.
It's a
That's
boy.
the mail.
That's the love shack.
Yeah,
That's right.
I had 3 of these plants, and then one of them hermed really bad, so I chopped it, and then I checked the other 2, and they look fine, so I'm gonna run them. And this is gonna pollinate this one. This is a Nightmare Cookies. This is a Goth Girl, which is my strain that I did with the green crack and the platinum float. And this is also a Goth Girl. And this one is not going to get pollinated, hopefully, but they're right next to each other. But I wouldn't be sad if it did.
We had a baby. It's a boy.
What's that?
He's just being silly.
It's a boy. I'm a boy, Damien. Yes. That thing's all. That's what I look for in my males too.
Look at that. Can you see the
I was
purple?
looking at- we was talking to someone about what they look for in
Yeah, what
males.
they look for in the males. And
I
this is
see
cool
color
to see
on
this.
that one.
Yeah, that's wild. Is that you got some? Yeah.
Yeah, a little purple in there.
Now, is that a natural male or is that a? Did you
This is a
change it?
natural male, yeah.
Okay, they were asking.
I got the Y chromosome in here.
Nice.
This is coming down probably tomorrow. This is the gold cash gold crossed to white truffle cheese. Artman sent me that seed.
Nice.
Very pretty.
I love hearing that.
And this is the Afghan landrace that's pollinated. So I got a trip coming up. I'm leaving on not this Saturday, next Saturday for 10 days. And I got somebody coming to water my plants a couple times, so I'm not too concerned about it. It's like the only other person I know that grows happens to work at my work. So
Nice. That's great.
I put them in the 10 gallons so they would
Just that
last
reason.
a little bit longer. Yeah.
I hope you have fun on your trip. Man.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about your plants. That's nice.
That's nice when you don't have to worry about them and you know they're getting taken care of.
I don't think I'd enjoy leaving my house for 10 days, man. I'd get all freaked out. I'm that dude.
I mean,
I'm not.
a little bit anxious about it. Yeah, no, XYZ's not. But, I need the vacation, man. I'm excited. We're going to Florida. We're staying right on the beach. My father-in-law has a condo, and it just got remodeled, so it's like very nice and pimped out. And
So
be a
you'll
lot of
call
fun.
into the show and take us for a tour and let us meet your father-in-law and talk about
Oh,
growing and
hell.
all that
Well,
stuff.
I'll be doing a live. I'll join live from the beach. That'll be dope.
That
That'd be
is
good.
going to be awesome. We'll be
Look at the
looking
beach.
forward to that.
What beach is it?
We're going to Reddington Shores, which is the Gulf side of Florida.
That's the nice side. Very nice.
Yeah.
White sands. Very
Oh,
calm.
Check this out. Ow, shit.
Kitty,
That
kitty.
stinging nettle fucking
Hey, kitty.
stings.
yeah,
Mm.
it's
It just got me.
What did you say?
the stinging nettle. It's fucking stings.
Okay, that I was wondering.
It helps, I think, a little bit. At least it's like I got it on my arm just now, and my neck stopped hurting a little bit. But it's like I'm distracted by it. It's a distraction injury.
It's a distraction. Sometimes that's what you need.
Now, seed person, for free, I'm not even going to charge you, but I'll stomp on your foot when you're having issues.
Look at those roots, man. That's beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, this is a clone of one of these two big ones. I need to repot it, but I'm going to do that right before I leave. I'll put it in like a 3-gallon. So I got
That's
the
ready.
2 backups here, are the 2 backups for the 2 big girls. I got another one there. This is another clone of that. This is a banana cream sundae and kombucha cream. And this is a peanut butter souffle.
I like this.
And this one, like,
You all-
it really gets tall. I grew it once before, but I didn't put it into flower. And I popped another seed, and see the spacing on that?
Yeah, that's pretty big.
These.
I have
I
a
don't know.
question.
You always have the best variety.
Thank you.
He does have a great variety. Real
I
quick,
try to keep it fresh. Yeah.
when you pot up that one that you showed us the roots, do you have any, when they get that many roots in the solo cup, do you have a set way that you like to do anything to the roots? Do you leave them like that and just pot up?
Yeah, I'll bury a solo cup up to the rim in the
Yeah.
pot, and then just pull the solo cup out and put the root ball in there.
Right in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah, just
deal.
like fill the pot up, put the solo cup in, fill it. I fill in the solo cup as well. It's easier than trying to just like put it all around the outside. And then you can just twist it and pull it out and drop your root ball in.
That's nice. That's ready to rock and roll. You
This is
got
a
me-
re-veg.
Yeah, that's looking like it's re-vegging now.
Yeah, I'm really happy because I really love this. The smoke on it is amazing. The taste is great. It's crazy frosty. And I'm going to make some seeds with it for sure.
Looks good.
What is that?
The flapjacks.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going to show you a bud. I don't know if it'll.
Somebody had
Yeah.
somebody was, when you wasn't here the other day and was asking
About the
person looking for pancake. I think it might have been Passanante, but I don't want to put him on the spot. He was here earlier. Somebody asked that the other day and he wasn't here.
It's not maple, but it's really tasty anyways, and it's really frosty.
Looks right.
There's a picture on my Instagram. I think it's pinned, and it was just insane. But the other one harmed really bad. I don't know if you guys can see that very well.
Yeah, I remember that.
It looks nice. Hard buds. Very compact. Nice to roll up.
It's like fruity. I can't describe it. It's like fruit and cakey almost. Like it kind of like a pancake, but not mapley. Like if you had like strawberry pancakes with powdered sugar.
Ooh, that sounds good. You make me hungry.
Yes.
Which I'm gonna smoke some more right now. But yeah, that's my update.
Nice.
Deal.
That's awesome. Thank you. Your plants are always gorgeous.
Thank you.
Everything going on in your garden's fun.
Always exciting.
You'll have Atticus and Scout to be looking out for your plants too.
Yes.
So you're gonna have a great time, and I'm excited to see your live from the beach or the Florida.
J5 says the
Florida.
variety is the caroffeline of life. I like that.
Touche.
We almost had a splasher, I think. Do you guys see that person trying to get in?
No, you can't see
no.
that.
I did not.
I think it was a
Yeah,
flasher.
there was someone that did. Yeah,
Nice try, flashers, Russian bots.
and I feel bad that happens, because what if it was someone that wanted to share their garden and we are
I always give them a little bit of time to sit there, and if they
gun shy?
won't show nothing, then I gotta see. And they're coming in with some weird name that doesn't come from our chat, so you kind of know right away.
Never seen the name.
Never
in
seen
chat.
that name in any chat. I've been around too.
That's crazy. So you get flashers in here. Oh.
Oh,
Well, it happened a couple times.
One of the
I
best
think.
ways to do it, though, is to put like us on the big screen. Just it's best to let them in, then put us on the big screen, and then if they try to do something, it's behind the scenes. Only we can see it, or like the people in here can see it. It's not on the thing that can get you banned.
That's crazy.
I guess the flasher's okay if it's like some softcore flashing going on, right?
Hey, you never know what you're gonna get, man.
Why? What do you got planned, Jace?
Yeah.
No.
I do feel like had his Tiny hanging out one day, and then Ice and I had his last week, so I feel like it's my turn.
That's right. We had some
nipple action.
We did have some nipple action, and then
jeez, we're gonna get banned.
Shaking some ass.
Oh, yeah.
Right, you guys. Use
Don't
guys.
tell nobody. Don't tell nobody.
I thought this was a cannabis show. What have you done to me?
It's not my fault. I didn't say anything.
I think we were talking about twigs and berries, right?
Yeah, you never know what you'll get here. It's a variety.
Hey, the seed that you sent a seed person is still outside. Node number 3 has come along. We took a picture, but I can't get it to load up on the screen well. It just shows one leaf all zoomed in, and I don't know why. But anyhow, it does look like it's starting to elongate a little bit or something as the leaves get bigger and bigger. They're getting
they're starting to turn a little bit. So we're excited. We're just starting. I got some pictures today, and I'm just going to take pictures every day to watch those changes, and eventually I will post them.
I'm worried about the pest pressures in our garden.
Yeah, there's going to be pest pressures, and we're not sure how to even spray some Dr. Zymes on it. That's
what, in your outside garden?
Yeah, on just that plant to protect it from anything that may. She just
spray some Zymes on it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We'll throw some Zymes on. And,
I think it adjusted pretty well to the outside. A couple of days of in and out, and then full on. And it's been getting watered with the garden and everything else, and seems to be doing fine.
Is it in cocoa?
No.
Or just regular soil?
It's in our soil, yeah. That's from the garden.
So we composted that soil up. It's good stuff.
What about some nematodes or something?
Yeah, I thought about a couple. I don't know how much I want to get into it, though, Everything else in the garden's doing fine, so I'm not really stressed about it. I just know it's young and succulent.
It's it's a little.
Put a net, maybe
succulent
a mesh on it or something.
Put a net, you say?
Or a mesh or something. I wouldn't be. I don't know. If you spray it with the Zymes, it'll kill anything that's on it, but it won't keep it protected. You might want to inoculate it with something like BT or something like that. I'm not the expert on that, so I don't know.
Keeping it so far so good. I did see a few white spots it looked like on some of the leaf tips, and I don't know if that's just maybe somehow adjusting to the sun, but it looked very healthy. It was praying, it was standing up nice and tall, and it's been in the sun for a few days, so I'm excited to see it, watch it go. It still has a ways before it gets so high up in the canopy that it gets real good sun. So it's kind of nice that where it's at, it'll slowly get broken the bigger it grows,
And it's still in a solo cup too. We want that to get nice roots before we put it
out. Yeah.
Are you actually going to grow it with your tomatoes and all that stuff? How big are you going to let this thing get?
Well, it's supposed to not look like a cannabis plant, so we're going to run it and see what happens.
Run it and see what happens, and
then our plans is the honest truth. XYZ is that seed person, and people were telling us that you can pretty much stealthily grow it right in amongst other things like peppers and shit until you get to flowering mode. Later in flower, it'll start to smell like dank bud, and I can't have that. There's people that walk around. So what we might have to do is try to take a clone from it or something and bring it inside, depending on how our room finishes. Because I would like to see it. I always wanted to flower out like a ABC, a freak show, or Frisian duck, or something along those lines, a grin spoon or something. And so we might just take a clone, bring it in, maybe re-veg it or something. So I want it to live. But I don't think that plant will be able to be harvested. I think it'll get chopped down, you know?
Yeah.
No, grow it out and then take all the branches and root them, and then run as soon as the room is ready. You'll have like a full tent worth of clones to run a sea of green.
Well, I thought
just
about
like chop the plant up into a bunch of pieces.
thought about taking, like you said, I was going to take like 4 clones and maybe run like 2 of them along with some other seeds and shit, and just kind of, if I schedule it right, my seeds will be a certain height whenever I'm taking clones and they have roots and shit. You know, if I can schedule that pretty close, I think I can do it. You know, that way I don't lose it, and I don't have to consume a whole tent for it either. You know,
And we don't get busted because smell will be.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, and I gotta make sure it's gonna blend in. No one can see it right now. There's no possible way you have to
there's
be
cabbage around it. It has to get about a foot tall before people will be able to see it. And so, and like my wife said, we have it buried in the soil in the solo cup, kind of like Seed Person was saying, for a pot up, just to keep the root ball warm or cool and shit during the days. So we're gonna pop it out of there soon. Once I realize that it might be getting a little deficient in nutrients, or it gets the right size, it'll come out of there. But it's a lot of fun. We're just watching it kind of, and you know, if we lose it to pest or something happens crazy, it's not going to break my heart. And Seed Person knew when he sent us the seeds, he was cool with us not being able to possibly finish it. But we're going to give every effort to try and keep it going.
Yeah, that was from the beginning.
Yep.
Was to take a clone, and that's why we popped it, because I'm like, you know, I don't want to just chop it down.
So Smot's all about the exotics now.
I'm always about the exotics.
Yeah, it's fun curiosity.
Here's a picture of it last week, XYZ, in case
it's much now.
It's got a 3rd node now, and it's a little bit taller, but you can see it's around some cover crop. I got peppers in there, cabbage, and tomatoes, and my cat.
Yeah, it's good sun too. Like that's like the picture didn't.
Like that looks like a cannabis plant.
That's what I said.
To you it does, but to a regular person, it just looks like some any fucking plant. Nobody knows, you know, unless you have grown multiple cannabis plants from seed, you don't know what a seedling cannabis plant looks like, right?
Right.
And once it gets big enough, the leaves will look like they'll look like maple leaves.
Okay.
No, they're going to look like maple leaves because they're going to be webbed. So it'll still have the points of the fingers, but there'll be leaf material in that all the way through it. Yeah, like maple leaf. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
So even to the person that is growing or has grown or seen plants, that's going to trick them too. You know, I would.
If somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, that's a weed plant," you say, "What are you talking about? Come back in 2 weeks and tell me that again."
Okay.
It'll look
well, I want to see this. I'm curious.
Dude, that's why I'm doing
That's why we're doing it. I'm taking the pictures. It's starting to change
XYZ,
now.
as soon as it popped up, the first 2 regular leaves come out. I got a hold of Seed Person, and I even posted a thing, and I'm like, this looks like a regular cannabis plant to me. Does it change after a while or what? So, because I was thinking the same thing. So but I've been noticing it does look like that as the leaves grow bigger and bigger, they're getting like more of, like he said, there's bigger areas without the leaf veins, you know.
Okay.
And it just kind of looks like
to change.
Yeah, they're changing, and it's not a deficiency or nothing. Everything looks fine. It just looks like an odd growing leaf.
Okay. Well, now I'm really curious. So I'll check back in. Hopefully, you'll have some pics.
There's a few plants that grow weird like that, XY, and some of them, if I remember correctly, I think the Freak Show is one of them that was bred specifically for the growing it under the radar outside. And then you have what do they call it?
So is the duckfoot.
Yeah, duckfoot, Freak Show. You have the Australian Bastard Cannabis, or the ABC strain. They have what was that, Grin Spoon? Doesn't it look weird?
Yeah, it's like the single calyxes all over the plant, all over the stalks and everything.
Yeah, it looks like a very larvae. I've seen someone grow on before on Cocoa for Cannabis through the chat there, and it was something I was thinking I would never want to dedicate space in my tent to something like that. That's exactly what you don't want. And you know, like you said, it's just one or two little calyx clusters all the way up. It almost looks like a male just clustered all up real weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
But here's the thing: I don't know where to get any seeds of that. But if you crossed that with a freak show or a duck foot, you could grow a whole plant outside that didn't look like weed. It would smell like it, but it wouldn't look like it at all. And then you could just take the whole plant and hash it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Wow. Until it starts smelling. I mean,
Well, what are they gonna do? It doesn't. There's no nugs. It's just a single calyx all over the plant. It looks like a pussy willow, like a pussy willow. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Or whatever.
That sounds really weird.
Yeah, green spoon
You know,
is holy.
Go look it up.
Like 15 week or 17 weeks flowering on that green spoon, and it's a weird one, man.
17 weeks. Well, I remember you with your freak show seed person. I mean, that thing, did you ever flower it and harvest anything off it? Or did you just kind of say, fuck it?
No, I had it when I had to shut down the tents, and I kept it in the spare room, but it smelled like rancid meat. So I kind of
Oh, that's right.
Even in veg, it was really nasty smell.
Well, that's what you need outside. It'll drive everybody away instead of towards it. They'll be like, what the fuck is that? No.
Hey, my compost pile isn't but 20 feet away, 10 feet away. I'll tell them I'm composting meat and everything, man.
I'm composting meat. It smells like a rotten cow over here, but it's in the compost.
I'm wondering how far the smell would even travel. Like how far.
I think it's important to remember this for everybody, including us, is that my thing is whenever that plant starts to flower and starts smelling hardcore, I'll be growing in my house at that same time. I can't have one plant outside as a little experiment drawing any sort of heat whatsoever towards a house where I have a tent inside growing.
But we'll already have clones and have chop.
That's
always been the plan.
That's been the plan.
To do this experiment, to grow outside, which this experiment has taught me one thing, that there's a part of me that longs and yearns to be the soiler. I want to grow organic. I want to just water my plant. I don't want to pH my water. I just want to take the hose and water my plant and have it go beautiful and wild. So it has sparked that inside of me.
She watches our tomato plants climb a 7-foot trellis like nothing. She watches. We got 50 peppers on that one plant alone. It seems like they're just hanging everywhere. Everything's doing so great in our soil, and has been for the last couple of years. And we just keep adding to it every year, and it seems to get better. And she's seeing this as well as me, and it makes me the same way. But I will say the difference is for me, it makes me want to have my own soil in a box outside and grow outside. I still not ever going to want bugs, worms, mites, all so good or bad inside my home.
We'll never grow indoors,
With
but
big
I'm excited
pots.
about hopefully someday.
Because that soil is a living soil. I mean, there's literally roly-polies, mites, mycorrhizas, all the good stuff's growing in there, but it's still not what I want in my home, inside my tent. And there's a lot of things that I equate to that. But you're right.
But it's
fun.
Outside, like
it's gonna be wonderful.
Well, it's nice because I'm just watering it and it's doing so well. Like Smart said, it looks healthy. It's strong. It's been getting a little windy days.
No burnt tips.
It looks great. And all we're doing is not pHing. I'm not checking the EC to see if my isn't salty enough or too much. That appeals to me as a lazy person.
Me too. I would want to grow outside too if I could, but it's not a matter of the soil. It's like nuclear hot outside. I could never pull it off, I think.
You can't.
Yeah,
I've always said I'd like to grow outside, but I'm afraid of pests, and that would be teenagers.
Yes, that too.
I'm in a city, so they'd probably spot it and they'd They'd watch it grow all season, and then right before I harvested, it'd be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, gone in 60 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you're sitting outside with a shotgun protecting your harvest for the last month because a bunch of idiots that don't know how to wait. Just wait. I'll cut you off a couple branches if you're that hard up. Just wait until it's ready. You know, shit.
Oh, a couple years ago, I'm sitting in my house and I see a guy walking down the street. I mean, he's got a beard and hair, but he's got a whole cannabis plant, root and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's about 3 foot tall. He's just trucking on. It's flowered. He's trucking on down the street. It's like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
that was a stolen plant right there.
Well, the thing is, though, down the street there's a park and a train track next to it, and there's all kinds of hemp. So it's even possible he might have snagged one of them and thought, "Yeah, I got me some good shit."
Yeah, okay. Oh shit! It's got more seeds than fucking buds.
Yeah, that's more likely of a scenario. But,
Yeah.
But it was weird, you know. I was thinking, where the hell did he get that? But he could have swiped it.
Yeah.
Hey, my old man called me. I forgot to tell you guys this. My old man called. He likes to go to these real estate auctions and these, you know, all this different kind of stuff. And so he was at an estate sale or an auction or whatever and bought a lot. And the lot had like tools and other stuff on it, but one of them was this big ass box, man. And it says greenhouse on it. It has like metal poles and shit. And he called me. He was like, "Hey, I got this thing and I don't want it. I was buying it for the tools and everything else in the lot. If you want it," he goes, "I can't use it because it's too windy here. I don't think it would last." But I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just plastic over a railing or what. But I'm thinking, I'm very intrigued. If nothing else, because I still don't think I could hide weed plants and the smell and everything in there. But I think it'd be great for starting tomatoes and shit early outside around here, as well as maybe being able to grow some things later in the season around here, you know. And I'm curious to see what it is, but I thought maybe you guys would find that pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
outside.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you just need a foundation. But I'd first open that box and find out what's in there.
He said it's unopened box and it's a little bit old. It's probably like 10 or 20 years old or something, you know. So who knows what store it came from or whatever. But I'm thinking it's like a little metal hoop house. It probably just like stakes to the ground. And
Well, it could give you 2 or 3 weeks start and finish.
exactly.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I was thinking I'll try to grow shit during the winter if I could. I have a couple ideas.
Yeah.
I could put some
I don't know about that.
around it, and I know there's things around here that do well in the winter. And I think, like, if you have that house, you can grow certain things. And I'm not sure what all they were. I think aloe was one of them. There was a few other things that you can keep going, and it gives you something to water and look at in the winter too. You know, I think there's some root crops we can grow in the winter too, like garlic and a couple other things around here, if you can keep the soil from literally freezing, you know.
And the snow off the unit.
There, Abolish says garlic is his main crop over winter. I think we don't plant our garlic around here until the end of October, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and we missed last year.
We missed it. My dad's hooking me up, though.
Yeah, he grows the garlic and stuff. So
Now, do you have to trade him some tomatoes and peppers for that garlic?
No, he's got
too.
his garden's 10 times the size of mine, but he owns 10 times as much ground as I do. He has like a rototiller and a bunch of shit. He goes all out, but he gets the black dot on his tomatoes every year. Yeah, his plants die off really early from that black or from the tomato blight. They start at the bottom. They get the little black dots on the leaves. They turn yellow. From what I understand, the only way to correct these is one of two ways. You either scorch the earth about a foot down, which is going to kill everything, and you have to kind of restart. Or, and I don't even know how you would do that. That would be really tough. Or you just don't grow in that area for at least 5 years and let it die off. I heard you can't compost those leaves because it's a fungus and it does live in a compost. I feel like a properly composted pile heats up and everything and would take care of it, but I don't know. According to people smarter than me, from what I understand, it doesn't. The only way I've seen that you can get rid of it without stopping growing there is, and it sounds like a piss and a prayer, is that you take off every single leaf, don't let any of them hit the ground, and you have to spray this. It was like a oil, lime juice, or something mixture. It was like a 4-part mixture, baking soda. You spray this all around your plant, and who knows if that's even supposed to work. But they said when you take those leaves off, you throw them in the garbage or in the wood burner or something. You don't put them back into. That's what you're trying to do, is keep it, because it just falls back in the leaf. Every year he gets this, man, and the problem is he has a. I'll grow 4 plants on a vining tomatoes and harvest as much as my old man almost, and he'll grow 30 plants, but he'll get one big harvest off each one, and it dies. So for the
that sucks.
Isn't that the indeterminate and the determinate?
I think that's
the difference?
I think that's part of it.
One, I mean, isn't that correct? I might be wrong.
No,
but
we've had that.
Yeah, we've had that discussion too. One will keep producing all year. The other is a one and done.
Yeah, I think determinates only grow so tall, but they can give you multiple fruits. Vining tomatoes continue to grow, continue to put out fruiting shoots as long as the conditions are right, you know. And I think that's where the biggest part of it is. I don't think it's a considerable one and done with those, but it's pretty close to it. But I think part of it is that he should. I think the overall message there was, for the amount that he's growing and the number of plants that he's growing versus his yield doesn't compute to me. It seems like a lot of plants, a lot of work. He should be able to grow less and get more. He does it a different way. And if he didn't have to handle that blight. So, but I think my dad's, he's highly competitive. So we like to call each other up and get in.
Whose tomato plant's bigger?
Well, that's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
He buys his 2 foot tall, and they got flowers hanging on them when he's planting them. And then he calls me a week later, I'm already making sauce. I'm like, yeah, but you bought your shit already in flower. I said, I buy mine, you know, as fingerlings, man. They're like, they need some time. And so we get into that. But
So next year we're going to start them indoors just in December.
Yeah, start them up in some fucking hydro action. Be like, look, Dad, I got you.
Yeah.
3 foot tall.
Dude,
Nearly 4 foot tall.
he was grinding me hard the other day. He comes down and he walks over to my compost pile. He's like, what the hell is this, Sonny? That's what he calls me. And he's like, what's this, Sonny? I was like, that's my compost. I have all my my cabbage leaves on there that we peeled off, and, corn. He saw a bunch of watermelon and corn and stuff in there getting composted. And we go over to the peppers in the garden. He's like, you call them peppers? And so he gets his phone out and he's taking pictures of all the peppers that he had on his counter and everything. And he was like, I was like, I don't know what's going on, if it's the sun or what. I said, they just don't seem to be doing. I said, we've had all this hot days and I don't know what's happening. And he nailed me. He goes, it's that, what'd he say? He goes, it's that junky watermelon cornstalk soil that you're using. And he knows how much I've been soil and the worms and all the work. And he's going, but this is the kind of dig that we get in with each other. And I told him, at least I got the looks and brains from my mother, so kiss off. But no, it's all
Man, kick him in the nuts.
It is all in good fun because he's awesome. He turned us on to the family recipe for the sauce.
But it really pains me, guys, to have to go to him and say, look, I need a handful of hot peppers. Mine aren't ready, and everything else is, and I need to make some sauce. Or to go to him and say, I didn't get my garlic in. Hey, Sonny, if this was 1880, you and your family would be starving. You got to
Oh, my God.
Gardening waits for no one, Sonny. And he's trying to tell me this. I'm like, oh, man. So we share a passion for gardening, but we also share a passion for trying to get a little bit of fun, friendly one-upmanship.
Ribbing each other, man.
Yeah. A few years ago, guys, he was having a real hard time with his soil, and he sent it away for testing and everything, got his stuff back. And And what they didn't tell him was how to remediate it, I guess. So I came to these shows and asked if, like Doc MJ and a few other people that I know that have a lot of history in soil, and they told us to get elemental sulfur. And so I turned him on to what I was told to buy. He went out and bought it, put it on at the application rate, a little bit heavy, turned it in, and his garden did way better the next couple years now. And so I have that on him to take credit. I always tell him, when he gives me these peppers, I'm like, if it wasn't for me and my buddies getting you the elemental sulfur trick to adjust your pH, you wouldn't have these good peppers. So I said, in essence, you owe me for all of these, and so that's how we're playing.
Oh, that's funny.
But we're out of time. I rambled on a little bit too long here at the end. I want to make sure everybody gets over to Uncle Rick's show and they have a good send off. You get to tell everybody where they can find you. And a little bit off topic tonight. We didn't do a whole lot of cannabis talk. It's been one of those days, one of those weeks. Hopefully no one will judge us and you'll still come back next time. And with that being said, we'll start around the horn with our buddy OK Jace.
Yeah, guys, thanks again, Smart Crispy, for hosting. Cheers here to the panel. OKJace20 Instagram. And cheers to the chat. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Jace.
Awesome hanging out with you, buddy.
And up next, we can do Art Man. We'll go right up the line.
Hey,
they're asking about food gardens in the chat too, Art Man.
Yeah, I was going to ask you right now. Bonsai wants to show us a food garden Sunday. So,
yeah, we would love to see.
There you go, Bonsai. Bring it on by.
Oh, food gardens are awesome.
We'll show ours maybe too.
Yeah, maybe we could get out there. That's the only garden we have, and we can check out the Frisian duck.
Yeah. Okay, Artman 2 N's 420 _ at Instagram, or at you can see me at Cocoa for Cannabis or Percy's Grow Room or over at Let's Be Buds. Anywhere, just I'm all over the place. Thanks for having me.
Much obliged, Art Man. Up next, Seed Person 1.
It's been really fun hanging out with everybody on the panel, and cheers to everybody in chat. I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. Seedperson1 on Instagram and seedperson1@gmail.com. And you can also find me on the Black Hoodie Alchemy podcast talking about philosophy and metaphysics and magic and all kinds of weird shit. So cheers to everybody. Grow love and have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Seed Person. Next up, XYZ Vector.
Cheers to the panel, the host, the people in chat. I wished I had a grow going. I'm kind of jonesing for a grow, but I'm not at home. But that doesn't matter. Anyways, you can find me at Cocoa for Cannabis, and it's nice hanging out with all you. I know we didn't really cover the grows today, but we're not. Most of us are kind of just idle right now. But anyways, it's been fun, and thanks for having us.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, middle of summer's tough for a lot of people. So, right on. We'll see everybody at Uncle Rick's show. And we already did everybody.
Yeah, everybody's okay. I was just everybody. Like, we got everybody.
Yeah.
I want to thanks to the gardens that we did get to see. Seed Person, Art Man. It's awesome that you showed us your gardens. That gives us the pick-me-up that we need. And thank you, chatters, everyone in chat. Catch us on Sunday. We'll do some outdoor food garden tours and grow love, everyone.
Grow love.
Peace.
Grow love.
Deuce.